Hi, my name is Chris and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing CSS Battle Daily Target for July 4th, 2025. And so as always, we're going to try to come up with a approach on how we're going to do this before we go ahead and dive into the code. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use flex on the body, flex direction of column, and then we're going to have two divs. This rectangle and this rectangle. Pretty simple, right? We're going to ignore this semicircle. We're going to get back to that in a second. And then for this rectangle, we're going to create display flex. And we're going to have this element and this element in there. And we're going to, use, again, flex column. Line item center to get it in the middle here, and then justify content space between to get the one at the top and one at the bottom. Then for this semicircle, with the semicircle inside of it, we're just going to create this outer one, make it position absolute, get it where it needs to be, and then set that to display flex, and put this inside of it with justify content center and line items flex ends. And that should give us what we want. Alright, so let's go ahead and start creating the elements we need. So we need div for this rectangle, then two inside of it, and then this one below it. And that's going to all be in the body. So we're going to start by creating a div. And I'm going to use letters of the alphabet for my div to just cut down on my code. So there's that rectangle, there's the top rectangle and the bottom rectangle. And then we have this rectangle at the bottom. And then finally, here's our two semicircles. We'll call that E, and then inside of it, the white semicircle F. Go. I think that's all we need. Go ahead and create our style tag. Start with the body. Give it a... Actually, you know what? Let's do the old background color trick to start. So, backgrounds, and that's going to have this green. And then we're also going to include B and C, because those have the background green too. This is B, that's C. And then that's it. Then we can go ahead and do all the white elements too while we're at it. So as you see, I'm using CSS attributes to cut down my character count, so this is going to be C, D, and F. Yep. All going to have this, excuse me, this background of this white color. Good. Okay, so now let's go back to the body. And I'm going to do the same thing with the flex here. This can get a little bit tricky, but let's go ahead and give it a shot. So we'll also cut down on our characters. So body A and E. Oh, don't want that space. Leave as little space as possible to cut down on your characters. Again, gives you a higher score. So these will all be display flex, like that. Both body and A and flex direction column and align items center. Okay. I think that's all I want to do with that. Okay, and then we're going to actually, let me think about this. So we're going to have body's going to be justified content center, and this is going to be justified content center. So F, or sorry, E. So we're just going to do that together. E, justify content center. Okay. Now, I don't think we need to do anything more with the body. I think we can move on to A, and we can give it a width of, I guess, 300, and a height of 160. Pretty close. Oh, and then the other thing we need to do, I'm just going to stick it here because it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we got to do so the body has an automatic margin assigned to it, so whenever you have elements to go all the way to the edge here, you got to reset that with margin 0. I just put it in this selector here because none of these other elements are even using margin, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, so that's obviously a little off. Height by 10 more pixels, nope. 5 more pixels, perfect. And then the width is going to be 280. I'm going to guess. No, that's 275. That's 270. There, we got it. Good. Okay, now let's go ahead and create the size for C. So C, we can calculate the height. So total height 300 minus 175. It's going to have a height of 125. And the width, I don't know, about half. Let's go with half now. Let's see what that looks like. And I put that on the wrong element. Yes, this is supposed to be D. My bad. D. There you go. Alright, so too much width. Nope. There it is. Perfect. Okay. So now we can look at B and C. They're going to have the same width. So we put them together. B and C. It's looking like 20 more than D, so I'm going to guess 130. Oh, forgot the right width. That's kind of important. And then B, I'm going to say has a height of, I don't know, 65. That's perfect, except for the width is off. So we need a width, I think it's 150. Perfect. And then we just need to give C a height. And we forgot something very important. In A, we forgot to say justify contents. Space between. This will put, yep, this one at the top, this one at the bottom. All right, great. We're in great shape. So last thing we need to do is grab these two semicircles. So let's see, what's the width of A? Width of A. We need to find that. The A is 270. Okay. And looking at element E. E has a width of 270. In order to make a semicircle, we just cut that in half. So 135 for the height. And then we've got position absolute. And the background of this black color here. We should see it now. Perfect, we do. Now we got to get it in the right spot. So we need to say top 20. And that's absolutely perfect. Now to make a semicircle, all we need to do is say border radius. And we're going to take the smaller value between the width and the height. And we're going to give it 135 pixels. That's the top left side. That's top right. This is bottom right, bottom left. And there you go. You got a semicircle. And then we just need to do the same exact thing for F. With different values, of course. So I'm going to copy this. Call this F. And this is not going to have a position absolute. This is going to have a background of that color. This is not needed either. And then that looks to be, oh, it's the width of B and C, so 150. 50. And then this would be 75, because it's half. And then the last thing we forgot to do is we need to make this display flex and then align items flex ends, and this will push it all the way to the bottom. Oops, there we go, perfection. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, so I've already improved on my character count by like 30 or so by doing some extra combinations from my previous solution. And last thing you always want to do to improve your score, because your score is based on your accuracy and your character count, get rid of those comments and then delete all the white space. You gotta be very careful when you do this. It's really easy to mess things up. So while I'm doing this, I'm also checking my results, over here to make sure I didn't mess that up. And then we hit delete. Looks the same. Hit delete again. Looks the same. Now you just get everything on one line, and we should be good to go. All right, we didn't delete anything accidentally. We're in good shape. Let's go ahead and submit that. Great. Well, we got improved on our score by 1 point. Sometimes it jumps up by like 10 or 15, so I always do that. But sometimes it doesn't, so who knows. All right, thanks for watching this video today. Hope you liked it. If you want to see more like this, please like and subscribe to my channel. Enjoy your day.